buttons and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Phone off. Okay, now you should be able to hear me because Walter forgot to tell me to take.
No, I didn't forget. I looked at it right away. But you were yapping away.
He needs to be smothered with my hands. choking at his throat. Anyways, welcome everybody. And I hope everybody's had a good day and whatnot. So today we're going to talk about some issues that we have as Canadians with the Americans, because we've just about had it up to here. Okay? But we'll come to that in a minute or two. So let's see who's joining us. We have got, let's see. Well, rate number one was Nina. She was here first. And then Dana. Hope, Dana, are you out of the hospital now, Dana? How are things going with your eye? You've had a rough go of it. So I hope things are getting better for sure this time. Charlotte is here. Suzanne is here. Dubrovka is here with Al. We're here for a great chat. Beautiful day here today. So Dubrovka, you're up in Timmins. So what about the fires? Are you guys...
Are you smoky?
Are you like getting smoked out? Are, you know, the fire's close to you? Are you okay? And everything like that. Inquiring minds want to know. Sue is here. Hi, Sue, from Steamy, Missouri. And Barb is here from Calgary. And Denise is here as well. And Judy. Denise says, this should be good. I never knew I was to feel any kind of way about Canadians. Well, you probably didn't know that or realize it, but we're going to do some education today for you. And I'm not promising it'll be cheery. Karen's here. And Lydia is here as well. Hi, Lydia. Adam's here. Guten Tag. Bonjour. Hola. Okay. You don't speak English anymore, Adam? What? With that. And let's see. Gloria is here as well. And Faith is here. Hi, Faith. And Shadow Wind is here as well. So we got lots of people, and there'll probably be a few more coming in as we get going. So let's get going. And since Adam is here already, this will be very appropriate because I have been working. We went to a sew day with Walter's sew group, and I decided to work on Adam's pattern, his Jelly Roll Star, and this is the start of it. I have more blocks to go, and you're kind of wondering, is this the layout? Well, yes and no. I am going to do Adam's quilt on point, I have decided, and I'm going to be mixing up white backgrounds and black backgrounds. So half the quilt will be in what you see right now, and then the other half will be in black with a white and black transition row in between. It's all Adam's pattern. I just decided to turn it a little bit on its side. Why not? Because I can. So I did. But it's a great pattern. It's available on Adam's website, adamsews.com, and it's called the Jelly Roll Star. If you're looking for a pattern that uses up, well, jelly rolls or strips from a jelly roll or stuff like this. This can be made completely designer or completely scrappy. It's very versatile, and I think it would make a great Christmas quilt as well. So if you're thinking in the mood, like, I know it's only July, but I'm already making Christmas stuff. You can't start too soon. And, you know, oftentimes this time of the year as we get, well, not in my quilt store, but some are getting their Christmas fabrics in, and oftentimes, you know, they have those jelly rolls of Christmas strips. And I don't know, I buy them because I think they're pretty, but I'm not sure what to do with them. This is the perfect pattern for that. I think it would make a great Christmas quilt. And I'm actually seriously considering, after I finish this one, of doing another one using the same pattern, but with what I just said, Christmas jelly roll. As well. So that's on Adam's site. So you can go there and pick it up and check out some of his other patterns. He's got a lot of great ones on there. And he also usually has videos for many of his patterns too. So once you buy the pattern, he has a link for a video, a tutorial, and I strongly suggest you watch it. Not because you can't follow his instructions. His instructions are very, very clear. But it's nice to, you know, sew along with Adam as well as you work on one of his patterns. I've been working on some other things, but I'll talk about those other things on the Idiot Quilter next week on Tuesday. I'll probably give you a sneak preview of them on Monday on Monday Morning Coffee. But let's turn our attention to what Walter is doing. And yeah, now if you saw So Chatty this week, you already saw these. This is the latest progress that he's had in his free motion quilting. He's not completely happy with these. If I could do these like that, I'd be very happy. But you can see the progression is really good. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, well, I did some more last night and stuff like that.
Oh, did you? I didn't see them.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I didn't realize you'd done more.
No, and then I started doing it without the stitch regulator on.
Mm.
This is still a stitch regulator.
How did that work out?
Yeah, actually better.
Oh, yeah?
The machine moves better.
Well, next week we'll be talking more about it because Walter has no say in this. I'll tell you that right now. I said on So Chatty that next week on So Chatty, maybe we would watch Walter do some free motion quilting and talk about the process. He's a little bit nervous about that because he figures you'll screw up. And guess what? He probably will. But many of you have already replied and said they don't care if he screws up. Because that's part of the process, and you would like to see that. Not that he screws up, but it's too many videos out there on YouTube that show people who are extremely experienced, you know, the Angela Walters and other ones out there.
Andrea Good. No, it's Andrea Good.
And no, it's not. It's
somebody good.
Yeah,
and good or something. I'm not sure. And then there's, what's the other one? Bonner. Natalia Bonner.
Natalia Bonner. Yeah. And all those ones. And their stuff is gorgeous, but they've done this for years and years and years. They are professionals with it. And they don't really show you their mistakes. And they had mistakes when they first got started. And I think people who want to get into this feel really intimidated. I know I am. To do it, and it's good to see that, yeah, you're going to start out, it's going to be rough, but you keep at it and you get better. Because when he started out doing this, it sort of sucked. Well, not that bad, really, but yeah, he's smug about it. But yes, that's what we'll be doing on So Chatty next Friday. So you know, check that out once it goes up on the system. It won't be a live production, but I'll be recording it. Well, it'll be live while I'm recording it. It just won't be live to you. But anyways, check that out. That should be good. Okay, but Walter's been working on other things. He started a new shirt for me.
I started a shirt for Stephen yesterday, so it's not very far yet. I've got a sleeve on.
Yep.
And I did make a big mistake and had to rip it out.
What was it? You did something
I put that actually I wasn't thinking when I was doing it, because I was going in automatic mode, and I accidentally put the panels on backwards, the front panel.
Well, does that happen when you did that little burrito thing?
Yeah,
you talked about?
yeah. And then when I undid the burrito, I realized they were backwards.
Surprise!
And I thought, oh, how in the world could I have done that? But anyway, I guess I did. And so I had to unsew it and put it back together again. So that was a waste of an hour.
And you see, there is a pocket on it, but you probably didn't see it because it's this Walter's.
I put a pocket on it.
His patented
there
secret pocket, invisible pocket. There it is.
Yeah.
And it's my colors. It's the blues mostly.
Yeah.
The pinks, but I mean the blues are.
Yeah.
So for sure.
We'll get going on that.
Yeah. It'll look lovely, I am sure. So let's see. Gloria's here. Oh, I said that already. Let's see. Dubrovka says we are lucky. No fires close and no smoke. That's good, Dubrovka. We'll talk about the smoke in a minute. Let's see. Oh, Adam says, ooh, it's so pretty. Yes, it is. And I can't wait to see On Point. Going to be so pretty. Yeah, I think it's going to look really nice. That's nothing to take away from your pattern because the pattern's already there. All I'm doing is a variation on a theme. That's it. Not because no criticism of your pattern whatsoever. I just, for some reason, got feeling like, well, maybe I should do this On Point. I'm at that stage in my quilting now where I just don't accept patterns at face value for the most part. And besides, it's easier to cover up your oopses if you do your own customization. And you know me and oopses. Adam says, sometimes manual mold is less glitchy than stitch regulated.
Yeah, it seemed to when I was messing with it with took the stitch regulator off, it seemed to move. The machine moves a little better. When you've got stitch regulator mode, it always seems to feel like there's
It's holding you back.
resistance. Yeah.
And but well, he's coming along. Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. And Layla says, love the movement in your turns. Feathers look like the hardest design.
Actually, I find they're not that hard.
Oh yeah? No, you're supposed to say, oh, they're very difficult. It takes me hours. Yeah.
I find some other patterns more difficult than the feathers.
Everybody wants to do feathers, because I think feathers as a design on a quilt are the most elegant of the quilting designs. And everybody, when they see feathers, they go like, ooh.
Actually, I think there's a lot of versatility with feathers. You can do a lot of different things with it, different shapes and things like that. So, in fact, a lot of the patterns are variations of a theme, like circles and straight lines, basically. So,
well, Adam does feathers on his, and if you you should take a look at Adam's latest video, because he's got a segment on there where he's doing some free motion quilting for a client on the quilt, and Adam makes it look so easy. He just
but see, I think that's because he's done a few, and I think it says, I find feathers easier than the simplest stuff for some reason too, Walter. I think it must be the type A or B brain. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's some really simple things that for some reason I don't get.
Oh, like I take the simplest things and make them complicated.
Yeah, I don't know.
With it. But well, type A personalities tend to be the logical, efficient, organized brains. Type B tend to be the creative brain. But I think when you're doing something like free motion quilting, I think it's a combination. You need a combination of both, because you got to plan how you're going to move from one spot to the next spot.
Yeah, I have to stop panicking when I get a little stuck and just shut the machine off.
Yeah.
And then take a pause.
Would this be a good time to mention what we spotted on Adam's video the other day?
Oh.
He thought he covered it up, but he didn't. We were watching your video very closely when you were quilting, and you must have had a thread break, because suddenly you were going over to the next section and there's a long thread, and then you cut that one out and bang, suddenly the thread disappeared and you were just away. You were going, we saw that. But it happens, right? Yeah, that's not unusual. So yeah, not a criticism, just an observation.
Probably ran out of bobbin or something.
Oh, that could have been, yeah, with it. So I'm sure he'll tell us. Okay, so that's what Walter's been working on. So as I said, be sure to catch So Chatty on Friday and watch Walter master the quilt. What are you going to do it on? Are you going to just keep it with your bed sheet, or are you going to...
I'm not sure. Well, let me see how, if I want to get going further on the bed sheet, and then
no pressure. Yeah. Okay. So what? If you make a little mistake, it's not a big deal. The whole point of my channel on The Idiot Quilter, and why it's called The Idiot Quilter, is because I wanted people to see that, this is a process. You learn from your mistakes and you just keep at it. That's how you get good.
Well, basically it's a lot of practice, and then I think it's also, he says the bobbin ran out.
Oh, okay. You always need to be looking where you are going and not where you are. It's strange.
Exactly,
yeah, I've heard that before too. And yeah, maybe I'll give it another go. Walter's inspiring me, but I have a feeling within the first 10 minutes I'll go, yeah, no. With it. Okay, so let's talk about coming events. So sewing with me on Wednesdays, we've had a piss poor turnout, people. On Wednesdays, we really have. It's making me think, why do it? Maybe I should just stop. I spend a whole day there. I have it there open for people, and whole bit, nobody's showing up. I have, dribs and drabs, and just to say, no, I'm joking. I'm not. I enjoy it too much to not do it, even if I was just the only one there. But the numbers are a little less than what we usually get, but I expected that it's summer. So people are on holidays, people are enjoying going out in the smoke, all that kind of stuff. I mean, who needs a smoker these days? You just throw the meat out on the
Yes.
step and it's done. Yeah, give it 3 hours and you're fine with it. But yeah, if you've never been to a Wednesday sewing, if you've got some time, you don't have to be there the whole day. You've heard me say this before, but they're a very friendly group, and I have said this repeatedly, and they are. Everybody that comes there is extremely supportive and friendly. We have a good time. We are not a staunchy bunch of old people, okay, quilting. We have, what are you rolling your eyes about? We are not. Where are you on those Wednesdays? Oh, you're always out to lunch.
Well, yeah,
More ways
or
than one.
I'm not motivated that day.
Yeah, really. Okay, fine. You're really doing a lot to sell it. But anyways, you're all welcome.
Well, I should join.
Yeah, you should.
Yes,
yeah,
I
you
should.
should. Well, that's because people ask about you all the time.
Yeah, I
Where
know.
they don't care if I'm there.
Yeah.
But, they want to know where you are. So, Mr. Celebrity. What's life like living with a celebrity? Well, I don't know. I love it when you go to a quilt show and go, you look familiar. Wait, that's Walter! Okay, fine. And you might think I'm joking. I am not. Let's see here. Parm is here. Hi, Parm.
Donna says, I do think it would be worth going to a quilt top that's not that precious. Having blocks and area limitations make you less open space and give you boundaries to work in. I have thought of that.
Yeah, that's
So
why
I
I
do
want to
have-
do my quilt.
I have, no, I'm not going to do those.
It's not that precious
yet.
to him. Yeah.
But I do have I have to get Steve to look at it. I do have I went to a quilt class a couple of years ago, and I made a bunch of blocks, but I haven't sewn them together. So I could get him to do that. That way I'd have something to work on. And then also have this flower panel that I was going to try.
And you also have one that I made purposely for you to practice
Oh,
on. that
okay,
put
yeah.
Together. Oh, yeah, we forget these things, don't we? He and Lucy, I walk into the room and I hear this when he starts up, Lucy, get out. Lucy said, I'll only let Walter touch me. You go away. I don't like you anymore. Go away. Dana says, please don't quit your Wednesday quilting. I'm not going to quit it, Dana. That was, well, it's not completely a joke. It's really not. In some ways, I mean, I get the regulars come, and I love my regulars because they're really not my regulars, they're my friends and everything, but everybody can be my friend. You want to be my friend? You can be my friend. But come Wednesdays, but but I know people are, it's summer.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Layla says, I'm sorry I haven't made it lately. I didn't get Wednesday off work as I hoped, but I'll always pop in it if I get out earlier. Yeah, it's fun. Now I'm making people feel guilty. Good. That's what I wanted to do, and it's working. I used to do that with the kids in school too. It's amazing. Where did I learn that trick? From my mother. Everybody's learned the guilt thing from their mothers. That's what mothers do. Artist says, good afternoon from hot San Diego, California. Yes, I can only imagine that it's probably Friday. I just saw something on a YouTube short from over the heat in Europe. One guy, I think this one was fake. He put a raw chicken wing on the sidewalk and came back a few minutes later and he had a cooked chicken wing. I think that one was faked. But there were other ones on there too, like a woman in Milan, her heels were sinking into the asphalt. And what funniest one was they're in the UK and they're taking Cadbury's chocolate bars off the shelf in a grocery store and they're all going like that. And I know for sure that that's not fake because I had some chocolate bars in a cupboard here in the house. And even though we're air conditioned, I had to put them in the fridge because they were going boom. And good chocolate will do that. That's how you can tell good chocolate from bad chocolate, because cheap chocolate has a wax in it and it doesn't melt the same, but it makes a great emergency candle if the lights go out. And it smells like chocolate. Let's see. Barb says it was 33 degrees the other day in Calgary. Yeah, we were up in
30, over 32 a couple of days in a row, especially on smoky days.
Yep.
And but today it's cool.
Yeah, today is very pleasant.
22.
and we can go outside and have our walk. I didn't go out a couple of days at
And it
the tail end
wasn't
of the week
smoky today.
because, you know, I walked about a block and I said, no, I feel like I've just smoked a pack of
Yeah,
cigarettes.
like last night. I went out for a walk at night a couple of times and it was okay. It was smoky during the day. It wasn't too bad at night. But then last night I was going to go out for a walk, but it was a little bit too smoky for me.
Yeah, Susan's here. Hi,
cleared up.
Susan. And Margaret's here from Australia. Well, hi, Margaret. You know we love Australia and we love Aussies. Dubrovnik says, everybody's complaining about smoke south from us. We were a bit jealous, so we went and purchased Ninja Smoker Barbecue. Love the flavor on the steaks. Yeah, okay. We just waved them outside. Not today, but the other days. Yep. Oh, look, smoked meat. Yep, we've got it. So anyways, we're going to come back to the smoky part in a minute. And I know that many of you know what I'm going to say or what I'm alluding to. Hope says, I'm hoping life will turn around soon and can't wait to see everyone on Wednesdays. Well, we hope your life turns around too. And I am assuming you're meaning your new puppy that you are training and all of that. I hear that's a lot of work. Don't know. Only had a cat. So cats, you don't train. They train you. You know, because that's the nature of the beast. Okay, so we've talked about sewing with Stephen on Wednesdays. We went to a sew day at the club yesterday, and everybody was working on all kinds of things. Well, by the time we get around to working anything, because we all come in there and blab until lunch.
Yeah.
So like it's getting bad. It's getting. I mean, by the time
Socialize
you get all,
first.
well, by the time you get your sewing machine and everything set up, oh, well, it's time to go home now. Okay, I got two
Yeah, don't
blocks
get
done.
too productive that day.
No.
Because we tend to socialize a lot.
But I enjoy it because they're different people. And garment people are different than quilters. They really are. Not saying that's a negative thing, just a little different, you know? They're all concerned about their
I had to take my
and-
pants down.
Yes, Walter had to. Yeah, and we are a mixed group.
Yeah, well, I was wearing underwear.
Well, thank God. Well, maybe not. I don't know if it would have made a difference.
One of the
but-
guys was sewing a pair of pants, and he was putting the zipper guard in. There's, if people may not notice, but when in your underneath your zipper, there's a zipper guard to protect what's underneath. And
He means so you don't get
so you
things
don't get
caught
things caught in the
in
zipper.
the zipper.
So Brendan was sewing his zipper guard in, and he couldn't figure out there's a short end and a long end, and he couldn't
You're talking about the zipper.
yeah, and he
Okay.
couldn't figure out which side went on which side of the zipper. So I was the only one that was wearing shorts with a zipper. So
No, I had them, but I wasn't taking
Oh.
down my pants. I'm not that kind of boy.
I pulled down my pants so that
You were just too ready to pull your pants down. I mean, you slut.
turns out that the zipper guard in those pants were straight across. You couldn't help.
Oh.
I told him to go look on YouTube to figure it out.
Well, Brendan's making a suit.
Yeah, a
Yes.
suit, an actual suit, because his daughter's getting married in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So he's a born again gay. That's what we call the ones that had another life previous to the real life. Anyway, and he's a brilliant tailor sewer.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
done a lot. He's done a suit before, and suits are really complicated, but he does a great job.
Mhm. And oh yeah, but you were looking at that system that Cornelius Quiring.
Yeah, I
Uh,
can't forget what it's called now.
Are you going to buy it?
No, I don't think so. Not
Oh,
right
you
now.
don't think so?
But there's a system, I guess, that's German that you can design your own patterns and that. So it's not too bad price wise, I don't think. But I'm not sure if I haven't really had.
Well, it
to-
was over $200, wasn't it?
yeah,
For the whole
it's
system.
called Lutterloh, LUTTERLOH.ca.
It's from Germany, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I don't know. It's got a Canadian outlet, but I don't
Oh.
know.
Okay. Well, I thought because I saw him do a short about it or something.
Yeah,
at one
maybe
time.
a German base,
Yeah.
and it's a system that allows you to that shows generic patterns, and you measure your own measurements, and it will convert a pattern to your measurements. So
yeah, well, might be something. It might allow you to move beyond shirt making more.
yeah,
You know, because they had what, jackets, they had pants, they had
yeah,
other things
yeah.
in
You
there
buy a
too. So
package of base patterns, and it guides you through all the different kinds of things that you can make.
yeah, Pat's here. Hi, Pat. She's trying to stay cool in Kentucky. And Quilter 7939 says the stuff that goes on at those so days you two go to. Yeah, there's lots of stuff that goes on in there. I've never been to one where they've had the person come in and making whips and chains, or
No,
the
that only
witch.
happened right at the beginning. There was one guy that came in, and he was sewing a straight jacket,
Okay, fun.
and with wrist restraints.
No. Okay, know what he might be into.
That's the only time. But then there was one that came in a long time ago. She was completely dressed as a witch,
Yeah,
and it
well,
wasn't even Halloween. And
Broom was double parked, no doubt.
so she uses her, let her low. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he says his friend Carol, she has a channel. She uses her Letter Low and had vlogs on her channel. You can buy new supplements a few times a year. And it's at So Carol is her channel. She has a playlist online. Maybe you should
Okay,
look
I'll
that
have to
one
take
up.
a look at that.
Right down. That's at, I'll just write that down. So, S-O Carol. Okay, thanks, Adam. Holder can take a look at that. I have no interest. I don't want to do garbage.
Yeah, well, I got it from that acquiring.
No, Cornelius
Acquiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was showing that.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was a fun day at the club. Actually, two guys walked in, and it was like suddenly the needle
No, I
scratched
think
across
that was the guy and a woman.
Oh, was the other one a woman? Oops, sorry. They thought the bar was open because it is a bar. It's a gay bar that we meet in, but it's during the day, of course, and so it's not. They thought maybe they can just come in and have a drink. But no, it was a
Yeah, well, because we had the door open.
Well, yeah. I wonder if they were locals or passing through and
Yeah.
maybe checked a guide or something and came in, because most locals would realize that it's not open during the day.
Yeah.
But maybe they just have never been before. I don't know.
Yeah.
Barb says not going to his place for dinner. Oh, the guy with the straight jacket? Yeah. Adam says she's made t-shirts and stuff for her son and husband too, so not all ladies' garments.
No, there is a whole section on that Letterlow site that are all men's patterns, and looks like it's a whole package of men's patterns, and it's pretty reasonable price. So
yeah, but you have to have the main system.
Yeah, you have to have
first.
the main
That's
system,
the one that's expensive, kind of a thing. Let's see. Oh, Joanna's here. She's just got back from grocery shopping. Okay, so now you're going to have to take out a second mortgage, I'm sure. So, what did we talk about last week? Monday morning coffee with me. Talked about everything is growing, including my age. So we talked about age, and a lot of you sent me happy birthday greetings last week during the week on our other ones. Thank you very much for all that. And a lot of people were saying, age is just a number. I wish I could agree with you. It is not. Yeah, I definitely don't feel like I'm 20, although I don't look a day over 29. But, moisturizer. People think, somebody asked me what my skin regime is. And I think I mentioned that on So Chatty this week. And I think they were being funny, or maybe not. But I do have a skin regime. I do. And I mentioned it on So Chatty. So if you miss So Chatty, you might want to check that out to find out how I keep myself so soft and supple. Yeah. Don't give me that look. Quit rolling those eyes. You should use it too, like Wrinkle City. Good God, old man. On Idiot Quilter, I talked again about planning for upcoming Christmas holidays. Yeah, I know it's July, but And mark my words, when we get into November, this is what the main topic and comments are going to be. Oh my God, I've got all this to do for Christmas. I don't know how I'm going to get it done. Do it now. Start now. There's only one problem, as I mentioned, and it's pissing me off. Trying to get Christmas fabric right now. A few years ago, I remember there was the new lines of Christmas fabric came out in the summer, in July. Well, try and find it now, at least in my area. And what pisses me off more than anything is that some of our local quilt stores around here are holding back on it until they get closer to the Halloween. Well, it's too late by then. I am sorry. Now, someone did mention to me today they thought that maybe some of the manufacturers of the fabric have put a restriction on when they can release, when the people can start selling Christmas fabric. Well, you know, if I was a business, if I'm buying from them.
Or maybe they haven't shipped it yet.
Well, that's a possibility too. I don't know. But come on. So I think this year, when I finally see Christmas fabric, I think I'm just going to buy up wads of it in anticipation of next year, so I don't run into this problem again. I think that's the only way to get around it. And I love Christmas fabric.
Well, I have some upstairs, but I don't have any white.
Yeah, well, whatever, because I'm running out of some Christmas fabric I did find, but it was old stock at another place. And I've been working on some things, and I'm running out of one of the ones I was using. I can make it work with what I have, but everything I have is scraps. It's all scraps. I have 3 drawers of Christmas scraps, and they're just not big enough. I'm scraping to the bottom of the barrel. So that was there, and on So Chatty this week, we talked about, and this was a subscriber suggestion, about mystery blocks and blocks of the month and so-alongs, and we shared our views on that, which you may or may not disagree with us, and that's perfectly all right. It's to each his personal taste. I know a few of you wrote comments that said you absolutely love a mystery quilt because you love the excitement and everything, and you see, I'm not that kind of person, so to me that doesn't have the appeal. But I mean, if it works for you, do it. I mean, I'm never going to pretend that what I tell you that I like is the be-all and the end-all and you should follow suit. No, of course not. So, I'm leading up to today, though. Yeah. So, meanwhile, in Canada, okay, so right off the bat, yes, we have forest fires in Canada. We're not alone. You've got them down in the United States and in California and other places, too. But the big bitch point here is, oh, the smoke. It's coming down to the United States. We can't do a hell of a lot about that. It's called wind. It's called how the wind currents work on the globe. It's not like our government went in there and said, okay, we're going to legislate this, blow all the smoke in the United States. I mean, yeah, we'd like to put most of the choking smoke onto Washington, D.C., of course, for obvious reasons. But we do not have control of that. But apparently Trump thinks we do. So
yeah. Well, one of the problems with where these fires are located, Canada is a huge country, especially in the northern region that is unpopulated and doesn't have a lot of roads in that area. And there are places up there that can only be reached by airplane, small airplane. And because of that, firefighting is very difficult in those areas.
Well, he says, according to the headline, Trump threatens tariffs over smoke. U.S. President Donald Trump publicly accused Canada of willful negligence and threatened to slap new tariffs on the country due to heavy smoke crossing the border to the United States. He's lost it. Well, he lost it a long time ago, if he ever had it in the first place. But this is ludicrous, and this is really upsetting us as Canadians right now. I mean, we have listened to his bullshit about tariffs. By the way, Americans, you are paying the tariffs. He makes it sound like we are. We are not paying your tariffs. It's a tax on the stuff that comes into your country from our country that makes that even more expensive for you. You know, I have said this 100,000 times and I still don't think people get it. really. And he just keeps going on as though, oh,
It's going to punish us.
he is not punishing us. Yes, it affects trade.
It affects trade in that our goods become more expensive, so you'll end up buying goods from other countries instead of us because our stuff's too expensive.
Yeah. But he's slapped tariffs on everybody. So that's why a lot of things in the States are expensive.
I thought you had a machine that could suck smoke up if you all wanted to.
Yeah. Actually, we do. And we're not doing
It's
it
called
right
the
now.
United States.
Yeah, they suck up a lot of things in the States. I'm sorry, this is not going to be flattering to Americans. Let me preface things. Our battle is with your current administration. Our battle is not with the average American citizen. Hopefully you're Democrat. And you didn't vote for Trump. Our fight is not with those people, with you. Okay? Our fight is with the Republicans and the Trumpers out there, because that's who's causing the problems, okay? Not the average American. So our premier, he fired back, and he goes, Ontario Premier Doug Ford and other Canadian officials fiercely defended the nation, telling American critics they should offer firefighting support rather than complaints. Well, actually, they have. Some of the states, some of the northern states have sent some of their firefighters up to help fight the fires. But we have sent firefighters from our country down into California. In fact, one of the helicopter drivers, Canadian, who was down... What?
Helicopter. Yeah, okay. Helicopter
pilots. Okay, drivers, pilots. I don't know if they're driving it. Whatever. Pilots. He was killed in the line of duty of helping to fight fires in the United States. Did you hear Trump mention that? No, he did not with it. We have always, in times of natural disasters, both our countries have come to each other's aid throughout time. And it's nice to see that we're still able to do that. But when you hear Trump go on about tariffs and stuff for this stuff, like these fires are our fault, about, we're not managing our forests properly. Oh my God. One of the reasons we have global warming is because Trump doesn't believe it's a thing, and he's gotten rid of all the safeguards, all the things that were put in to fight global warming. He's getting rid of renewable resources of energy and putting more money and things into and supporting the fossil fuel energy, which is one of the major contributors to global warming. Oh my God. We've had it. We have had it as Canadians with this attitude.
Yeah, well, the thing is that almost everywhere in the U.S. is covered by highways and everything else. The areas in northern Ontario are completely remote. There's no highways up there. It's just like forest.
And this is another thing.
For acres and acres of forest.
This is another thing Americans don't understand. Our country is much bigger in terms of land mass than the United States. Much bigger. 3/4 of our country is unsettled or sparsely settled. That is where our what do they call it?
A boreal forest.
Forest exists. And lightning, if it's been really hot, and it has been, and lightning strikes, it starts the fires. And it's so vast. It's very difficult to try and get it under control, if you can get it under control. But Americans don't know anything. And even the ones that live on the border to Canada really know very little about our country. And it's not necessarily your fault completely, because your education system doesn't talk about anything but the American. Everything is America. America-centric. The biggest and the best. And it's the arrogance. And, You know, Americans get blamed for being arrogant in other countries of the world, and including Canada as well. We blame you. Oh, that's one of the key characteristics of an American. Oh, they're arrogant assholes. Now, that may be a stereotype, and I've met many, many Americans as individuals in that are lovely people. They are not that way. But as a country, that is the characteristic. That's the stereotype. Well, Trump just turned around and made that stereotype even more so with the things that come out of his mouth and his administration. There are 900 active blazes in Ontario, wildfires burn coast to coast, triggering air quality warnings across Ontario, Quebec, and British Columbia, while forcing evacuations in northern regions. Our Indigenous people, and this is sad to say because this is something I do criticize our government for, have not been very helpful to our Indigenous people. These people are living out in this very, very wild part of Canada. They're the only people that can survive there, really, with it. But they're not surviving well. Their infrastructure, our government has not put in enough money to give them clean drinking water, a decent road system. Some of these places live in communities where the only way in is by airplane.
And sometimes it's float plane.
Yeah.
It has to be on a body of water.
Or by boat.
Yeah.
In fact, one community of Indigenous people barely escaped. They've lost their whole area, everything, burnt to the ground. They barely got out with their lives. They took boats, is how they had to come out of there. You know, everything from canoes to motorboats and that kind of stuff. And now they have to be sheltered, they have to be fed, they have to be given clothing, and a lot of this is coming from donations from fellow Canadians doing this. Yes, our Ontario government says, well, they put all this money in and all this kind of stuff. He lies. Our premier lies about this. He doesn't seem to have enough money to go in and help these people, but he had enough money to buy himself his own personal jet. And then when he came under criticism, he gave it back, but he lost $200,000 of our taxpayer money because there was a restocking fee or whatever on that jet. But yeah, we have people, and I mean, they're Indigenous people. They're Canadians. They're just as Canadian as anybody, probably more Canadian than some. I mean, they are the original people in this country. And this is how they're being treated. And that's just sad. You know, and it's only going to get worse. So, yeah, so this is the backdrop to what I'm going to talk about today. And I want to know, why is it then that Americans hate us Canadians? And you're going to say, some of you, we don't hate you. We love you. We think you're really nice. It's not us. It's Trump. Yeah, we know who it is. But why? Why is it that he wants to make us the 51st state? Why is it he's trying to put tariffs on us now for forest fires for something way out of our control? And not just him. There's other Republicans wrote a letter to our prime minister. And thank God we have the prime minister we have right now. The man just snickered. He didn't even answer them back on any way. He didn't go on the defensive about it. All he said was, this is not just our country, it's continental North America, it is the world, it is global warming, this is what we have to deal with here as a global community kind of a thing. It's nobody's real, it's not one country's fault, it's every country's fault. You know, we're all responsible for this. So, but other examples of hate, let's see. Let's look at it from this point of view. Let's think about it. As Canadian, why would the Americans hate us? Oh, well, we kind of have been banning our travel to the United States, you know, after the tariffs and everything like that. We've decided it's not a nice place to go anymore. So we're not going to go. So our airlines, because they would be losing money if they can't fill a plane to go down to the States, have decided to cancel flights to the United States, cut them down the whole bit. Canadians have decided to spend their money off the continent, go overseas, things like that for trips. So yeah, We're not bringing money into the American economy, so there's a reason to hate us. Yeah. Tariffs. Well, as far as most Americans are concerned, those tariffs are put on there because we've been bad in our trade. We've been unfair to Americans in the way we've done our trade. You know, we only had a North America, what do we call it, the Kuzma deal in the whole bit. But, you know, we haven't been living up to our part of that, according to Trump. So, yeah, he's not going to negotiate with us to renew that at all. He's just going to walk away from it. You know, he doesn't need anything from us because we have nothing to offer in Canada that you might want. Like
oil,
electricity. Yeah, natural wood products. Well, they're burning up.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
We may not have any left.
Oh, then we took American products off the shelves, like alcohol. Oh, I'm sorry, Kentucky. Your bourbon's no longer sold up here. You're all going to be on the poverty line because we're not buying it. And that's so unfair. Really, you know, we used to buy 40% of what you produced in alcohol, and now we're not doing that anymore. And then we're just being nasty. You looked at us funny. We decided we're not going to have your alcohol anymore. We're taking it off the shelves. I mean, there's no other reason than that. We just want to be nasty. So yes, I can see why you hate us. Oh, we're not freely giving over our natural resources and our water to you. Well, you need that. It's important because you don't have enough of your own. And we have one of the world's largest repository of fresh water in the world. Yeah, we should share. We're treating you unfairly. We should give it all to you. Because after all, you're more important than us. So we're bad. It's our bad. It really is. Oh, we don't spend enough on NATO. We have depended on the United States since the beginning of NATO to defend us. We don't spend a cent on that because we know you'll be good buddies and you're going to defend us all the time, and we're taking advantage of you. We're being very unfair about that. Well, we just dropped a whole chunk of change on NATO for all of that, but that's not enough. You know, really, it would be so much better if we just became the 51st state. Then, you know, you'd be protecting another part of the United States. Yeah, that makes sense, but I can see why you hate us. Yeah, for that. Oh, we're possibly not buying your military equipment. Now, we signed up and said we were going to buy all these
F-35
F-30, yeah, jets and everything like that, you know. And but then, well, we decided to go maybe with Sweden, or no, who is it? Swedish?
Yeah, but I think it's Sweden.
Yeah, and their jets and everything like that. But those may not be compatible with the American ones. We can't do that. We just can't do that. Well, we didn't really have a contract yet. So yeah, but yeah, I can see why you hate us because we're not buying your jets. Oh, we're making deals with China. Yeah, you know the Chinese. They're wicked people. They fixed the elections in 2020. They interfered with it. They're spying on us through all of their products that we buy. All those Chinese electronic products, they're all built in to gather intelligence about us all. They're going to take over the world on that information. And here Canada is. We're playing right into their hands. We're just saying, you go ahead, you take all of our secrets and everybody else's. We're going to buy your products. Yeah, okay. Yep, I can see why you'd hate us for that. You know, we're screwing up your spy system. Oh, and then there's other countries too we're buying from. How dare we close out the Americans? We have dealt with American economy since the beginning of our history with the Americans. And, you know, this isn't fair. We are not treating Americans fair. We're looking a gift horse in the mouth. But, yeah, okay, well, I can see why you hate us. Oh, we built a bridge. Well, not fair, because it's eating into a millionaire's revenue from the old bridge. And yeah, we spent billions of dollars on the new bridge, all Canadian money. We actually even hired American steel workers to help build part of the bridge. We hired them and we paid them. But you know, no, it's not fair because we're going to make all this money off the bridge and we're not going to give a cent to the Americans for everything that they put into this bridge. Not a cent, but whatever. But we have a deal. Yeah. We weren't allowed to open the bridge until Americans got their fair share. The joke is on the Americans because it's all in the wording and you're not getting a fucking cent out of it until the bridge is paid for. But Trump seemed to miss that little part of the legalese that was written there. Oh, and the other thing is, Canadians don't lay down and play dead. When we tell you to fetch a stick, roll over, play dead, come here, good boy, we're going to pet you on the head, we don't seem to respond to that very well. We kind of have our own agenda. Well, that agenda isn't always what Americans want. Oh, so, other words, we don't do what you say. You don't like that because aren't Canadians supposed to be friendly? Aren't you do what everybody else wants you to do, and then if you do something bad, we apologize profusely for it. Sorry. Yeah, so I can see why you hate us because we're not playing your game. And of course, we have a PM who's intelligent, who knows economics.
PM stands for Prime Minister.
That's right. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot. Americans don't understand. We don't have a president. We have a prime minister. Yeah, it's a little different thing. But, you know, we have a very smart man as our prime minister.
If for some reason he wasn't smart and the Canadians weren't happy about him, there are ways to get rid of him.
Yeah, we don't have to put up with his shit if we don't like his shit. But Americans don't like that. Because he's smart, he's intelligent, he comes from an economic background, so he knows, you know, the art of the deal. And
he knows how to word things.
He knows how to word things because he's intelligent, because he's not illiterate. He can read. Yes, and write. And just overall, we have just been so unfair for many, many, many decades to the American people. You know, we crossed the border to buy their products. We went to Florida and California and the Disney Worlds and the other attractions and, you know, to their national parks and dropped a lot of money over those years which went into their economies on their states. We've been very unfair about that. Very unfair. Sorry. So, yeah. Am I being facetious? Not really. That's actually the truth. That's exactly how most Canadians see it right now. And we're full. We're up to here. I know a lot of the average American people are up to here too, for the same reasons with their government. But guess what? I'm a Canadian. I live on the north side of the 49th parallel. I can do nothing about your politics, but you can. And you're not. You're not. You're sitting around and you're waiting for the midterms as if those are going to happen. Yeah. He's already got his Save America, or Safe America, whatever he calls that.
Save America Act.
Yeah, the act. That if it got passed, and there's no saying it won't, although right now there seems to be, it's not going to go through. But yeah, we've heard that line before too.
However, if he doesn't get the results on the election that he expects, then who says he's not going to claim interference by China or whatever?
Yeah. We know his games that he plays. So, American threats. Well, we don't like. We don't like tariffs.
Yeah, because tariffs make our products more expensive for you. And so you might go to China and get your stuff instead.
Yeah. The money that supposedly Trump is going to make from the tariffs is going to go into the coffers of the Treasury. Yeah, how much money has he made from those tariffs? Nobody really knows that for sure. And where's all the money going anyways? I mean, this is the man who does cryptocurrency that you can buy, his watches, his phones, all of this stuff, which by the way are made in China, all this stuff. The only person that's benefiting from any of these tariffs is Trump himself. And if you don't believe he is, then you must be a MAGA. And we don't like you. 51st state threats. You know, we can defend ourselves. We are not a weak country. Also, if he actually ever attacked us, what do you think the other countries in the world are going to do? Canada is well liked and respected amongst many of the countries in the world. If we are a part of NATO, the United States is part of NATO. The agreement in NATO is if one NATO country attacks another NATO country, then all hell breaks loose. If a country attacks that's outside of NATO, a NATO country, all of NATO is supposed to come to their aid. That was what the deal was when NATO was first made, and Americans signed up for this. So you're basically, by attacking Canada, biting off a leg, your own leg. He's never really, has he thought about that? No.
And that's the same thing with Greenland.
Yes. Yeah, same thing with Greenland. Okay. This whole thing that the United States are the defenders of democracy. Well, that's American arrogance because you are not a democratic country. I'm going to show you this. Walter found this. Let me just pull it up here. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is a chart showing us the different makeups of governments around the world. You see Canada is in orange, and you put a full democracy. Norway, full democracy. Finland, full democracy. Germany, full democracy. UK, full democracy. Spain, or full democracy. And if this thing wasn't on the screen, Australia, full democracy in some little place down here.
Uruguay.
Full democracy. United States, flawed democracy. Colombia, flawed democracy. Brazil, Argentina, Chile, France, Poland, Lithuania, Mongolia, India. They're all flawed democracies because they are not true democracies. So let's go to, what's the red? Hybrid regime. Regimes, I really think red should be the United States right now. Ukraine, Turkey, etc. And what's the green? Authoritarian. There's an awful lot of green on this map. A lot of African countries in that part. Yeah, authoritarian, which basically says dictatorship. Okay? So this thing about the United States being the defender of democracy, not really. In a true democracy, people have a say. People in the United States do not have a say in what's going on. The Electoral College is one of the most flawed institutions in the world. People don't get to vote for who they want in. And I mentioned last week, there's a documentary on Netflix that it's a must-watch called The American Experiment. And it's made by Americans for Americans and interviews Americans and some real high-profile Americans about the whole, how the Constitution, that is a religious thing to most Americans, how it came into being. It's eye-opening. It really is. So I strongly suggest you watch it because you will be wow, I didn't know that was going to happen, because we're always taught in school, both in the States and in Canada. If you study American history, you're taught that the American Constitution is one of the most important pieces of paper that was ever signed and created in history to protect democracy. It doesn't protect democracy, it protects rich people. It does a lot of other things too in that. So yeah, this whole thing about being defenders of democracy, no, you're not. That's an excuse you use to go in and invade other countries like Iraq. You know,
Iran.
or Iran, yeah. Well, they did do Iraq too at one time. Okay. So another thing that we don't like is being blamed for the drug problems in the United States. We have a drug problem in Canada. Yes, we do. We admit to that. But the fentanyl thing, that was when he put up the first round of tariffs, because, you know, we were creating a drug problem in the United States. 0.1% of the fentanyl that is in the United States has come from Canada. Yeah. And then finding stupid things to blame us for, i.e. forest fires. You know, really. And generally speaking, why we why we're not happy with the threats is because Americans think we are stupid. We are not stupid, and I think we have proven that over the course of Trump's reign. With the way our government has handled it. I mean, we do not have ambassadors go to the United States and yell and scream about, you need to put that booze back on the shelves. Like, what's his face? The U.S. ambassador, Hoekstra. I mean, that man's got shit for brains. I am sorry to say it. No, I'm not sorry to say it, because he does. I mean, and he's been like, well, you've got to put it on. And then some of the Republican people have been writing, or governors of some of the more Republican states or that, have been writing letters saying, well, it's completely unfair that we're not selling American booze.
And we're going to investigate you.
Yes, they're going to investigate us, according to the governor of New York.
As if our laws, somehow we have to stock booze.
We don't have to. We have no agreement. It's not like a Kuzma agreement or something like that where it says we have to stock American booze or that. No, we don't. Not at all. Besides, American booze, quite frankly, is shit. California wines are one of the worst in the world. There's a reason why you don't find California wines readily available in Europe. You know, we've had California wines. No. Ontario wines, British Columbia wines, and that, they're made, are world-class wines that have won many, many awards over that. So we don't need to drink your shit. We really don't. So stick that bottle cork up your ass, Trump. Okay, so why do Americans then think we are weak? Because we take our time to make deals. We don't immediately give in. We consider all the possibilities. We like to think what all the possibilities are, what the repercussions are, the consequences, things like that. We just don't make gut emotional reactions to a deal. Well, you know, I guess we're weak because we do that. We're weak because we're not exactly the same as Americans. No, we're not. We are not. We are a different people. And I'll give you an example. Businesses that come up here, especially food businesses that come up to Canada, often fail after a few years. Reason being is because they don't understand how we approach the restaurant business, how we eat. And they think we're just going to be in love with everything American. Target came up here. They didn't last. Dunkin' Donuts is about to make a second try. They came once, failed. Now they're coming again. So that's because they don't do their research. They believe we are exactly like Americans. We're not like Americans. We're totally different breed. But that's a weakness, you see. That's see as a weakness because we're not like you. So that's a weakness. That's probably also prejudice and racism in there as well. They think we're weak because we're living without American products that we're refusing to buy. we don't really need most American products. We have a lot of products we make ourselves. We're very self-sufficient in this country. We make a lot of our own stuff. And now we're negotiating with other countries in the world for the stuff that we can't make. We don't need it all to come from the States. Well, what does the States make anymore? I mean, most of the things that are supposedly American are made in China. So, yeah. So, if you want to hear more about this kind of stuff, I recommend 2 videos. They're in the links below. They're both done by Canadians, but I think it's important that Americans start to realize what the Canadian point of view is, because we do have one. And one of them is called Shocking. USA Picks Fight with Wrong Canadian Province. And that's by Klaus Kellerman. Now, we talked a little bit about Klaus Kellerman last week. He's a bit, when you first watch him, he looks a little off the wall. He's a little weird looking. He doesn't look like, he's not very polished in his appearance, but the man has a brain and he knows what he's talking about, and he's very thorough in the research he does and reports on. And the other one is a couple that we mentioned also called Planet D. And they are also very intelligent people and do their research. And if you want to get a good view of the Canadian point of view, then I suggest you watch those 2 videos I've listed below, but watch some more of them as well. Now, there are lots of nuts out there as well on both sides of the border, because they're on YouTube just to get ratings.
Yeah.
Right.
You get money
Yeah.
from stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah. So here's what we're telling you. We've had it. As Canadians, we have had it. Bring it on. We're not going to just fall over. You're not going to be able to take your finger and tip us. It's not going to happen. You're going to see what truly we are like. We have very long fuses. But when we blow, we blow. And it's going to be shocking to Americans. Hopefully, we will stop before the fuse gets to the bomb. But right now, we're this close from a fuse this long. So you need to think about it. Are our relationships ever going to go back to whatever normal is if we ever get rid of Trump? It's not just Trump you got to get rid of. You have a whole lot of other people there that have to go as well. And you got to get some people who are intelligent, thinking, don't make decisions based upon their emotions. Don't make decisions on just trying to keep themselves into power and the hell with everybody else. I don't know if you'll find those people. What is it? The Bonnie Tyler song, or what? It's the good. No, I forget now. No, turn around. But yeah, because we won't go back to normal.
I don't think so. I think we'll be. I think we'll be more cautious about who we trade with in future.
Oh yeah, we will be, and for Walter and I, we won't be traveling to the United States anytime soon, even when if this ever blows over. It's not going to go back to normal. Carney's already said that. It's not the old norm. That's gone in the world. This has changed the world. And where it leads from here, nobody really knows. It depends on some things. And a lot of it depends upon Americans to do the right thing, to get rid of the tyrants. And I'm not just talking about Trump. Trump has people behind him. It's not just him. The Project 25 people and others. They all need to go. And common sense needs to come back into people's brains in here. So, yeah, I think you can see we are really pissed off. I want to reiterate, we are not pissed off with individual Americans unless they're MAGA. MAGA people need to die. We don't need them in the world. They're a waste of oxygen. In fact, we have a great solution for the smoke problem that Americans are feeling. I mean, I would love to see my tax dollars go to build a gigantic dome over the entire United States, and then we suck all the oxygen out. We would solve a lot of problems. You think I'm kidding? I am not. But as individuals go, American people, I know many of you. You come to the So Days, you come here and that whole bit. You're nice. You're good people. And I know you're trapped in a horrible situation. But as I said, I am not an American, so I can't do much about it.
Except don't drink your alcohol.
Yeah. We do what we can do to show you that we, aren't happy. But it's really, if change is going to come, it has to come from the average American citizen. And I think you're going to have a hard time in the midterms. He's going to do something. He's already ripping up for that. He keeps demanding that Congress pass, or Senate, whichever one it is, pass this Safe America, Save America, whatever bill, which would change the whole way people are elected, the voting procedure and the whole bit, and it doesn't change it in a positive way. So, yeah. So let's see what people are saying. This should be interesting.
I don't think they've been saying anything.
No?
They've scared them away. Actually, you're going way too far back. Up.
Up.
No.
Down. Okay.
Down.
Up is this way, down is this way.
Down. Go down.
Okay. Do you know the difference?
No, do you know the difference?
But first of all, I want to say hello to a few people who have come in. Caroline is here.
And
Grant
Rafa wants to know how your foot cream's working.
Whoever gave me, well, it was Gloria, was the name of the person who did that, who recommended the magnesium cream. That is a miracle drug. I wouldn't have believed it. I use it every night on my legs. My legs feel so good. They have not felt this good in a long time.
I don't hear them complaining anymore.
I'll find other things. But it is a miracle cream. I have to tell you that magnesium cream from Amazon works like a charm. Love it, love it, love it. Catherine's here. Len's Mill stores have Christmas fabric. Oh, maybe we should go up to
that's true,
They do. Yeah, they have a lot. We haven't been there in a while. Yeah, that's a good idea, Catherine. Denise says tariffs may be affecting supplies and shipping, at least in the USA. Of course they are. Of course they're affecting them, but who put them on? You're president. I thought you had a machine that could suck the smoke up if you wanted to. Yeah. Funny, Denise. Funny. Susan's here. Trump is a moron. Yeah. Yeah. Joanna says sometime back he criticized California for the fires. He likes to criticize everyone. Sure. I don't know what that is all about, what he thinks that's going to win him brownie points. Layla says his remarks were crazy, especially right after a Canadian firefighter died helping to fight the USA fires. Yeah. The man has no decorum, to say the least. Denise says, can you say bitch again, Stephen? Yeah. Teresa's here. Hi, Teresa. I wonder if they knew the fires were in an area as big as Texas, if that would get through. Some of the fires came up from Minnesota. Send them a bill.
I think it's a bigger area than Texas.
I think it's bigger than Texas. Yeah. When you look at the map for that. Lydia says, him and multiple representative. Makes me wonder if we got their degrees off the shelf at local 7-Eleven. Yeah. Well, the big joke here about American education system, you can get a degree in basket weaving. And a lot do. Denise says, it was reported that there are over 100 fires burning in Canada. No way they can all be fought. There's more than 100. There is 900 and where was that? Over 900 active wildfires across the country.
And I think 200 of them are in Ontario.
Yeah. Denise says, we have areas where fires are started by lightning and are allowed to burn themselves out. Yeah, well, maybe they can do that in certain parts. I don't know.
Yeah, but your areas are smaller.
Yeah.
There's probably communities and roads in between the places, and up where we're talking in Northern Ontario, there are no roads.
No.
There's nothing up there.
It's forest.
It's all it is forest and
tree.
some small lakes all over the place.
You can't see the forest for the trees. There's just, yeah.
It's remote. You're talking desolate. It's almost like a desert.
You have to understand that the United States, when you travel through it, it's just one city or town after another. As far as open spaces are concerned, yes, you have them. But you do not have them like we have them. And this is what I meant.
We'll have an area, northern Canada, that's the entire size of the entire United States.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but forest.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. The lack of geographical education that Americans get in school. I mean, all you have to do is watch your news, your nightly news, and see the weather, and you will see a blob on the north side of the 49th parallel. That's Canada.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll have some province lines.
Bring the democracy thing up again. Right? Okay, look at the size of the United States and look at the size of Canada.
Yeah. We are just a teensy bit bigger than you. Okay? We're the second largest landmass in the world. Number one landmass, Russia. Yeah, we're big. We're really big. The Europeans don't get it either until they travel here. Because to them, like, you know, it's the old joke, but it happens. Oh, I'm coming to visit you, but then I want to see my cousin in Calgary.
Or my friend in Vancouver.
Well, that's
sort of the same thing as saying I'm going to New York City, and in the afternoon I want to go visit a friend in LA.
Yeah, I'm going to drive there. Yeah, not going to happen. Yeah. Let's see here. Carol says the answer to every why question about Trump, MAGA, and others is greed. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fueled by money. For sure. For sure on that. Let's go down here a little further. Layla says they're already gerrymandered the crap out of minority districts. Yeah. And I figured in 100 years, Shadowwind says, maybe we will be proud to be Americans again. Maybe, but it's going to take several generations, and it's going to take a reshaping of attitude. For too long, the average American person has been told that the United States is the best country to live in. The American dream, that anybody with hard work can become president or can do well for themselves. No, that is an outright lie. If you are, first of all, you need to be white, okay, to do that in America, and for the most part. And most of the people the richest people are in the United States,
player.
Yeah, have gotten their money because of, one, they've inherited it through generational money, or two, they have made that money by selling something or a service or a product or whatever to the underlings in the world. Not all businesses are corrupt. I'm not suggesting that. And I'm not suggesting that making money is a bad thing. But it's what you do with the money afterwards. Are you putting it back into your community? And this is where Americans think that we're a communistic country, because we pay high taxes and we have welfare support and all this kind of stuff. We are not a communist country. We are a socialistic-ish country, which basically means we spend a lot of our taxpayers' dollars into organizations, into programs that help those who can't help themselves. Americans, the ones who are rich, don't do that for the most part. They just use the poor to make more money.
They only worry about themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you'll get a few who don't, but for the most part, that's what they do. And it's on the backs of the average American person. So think about this. When Americans are going to the grocery store these days, us too, but when you go to the grocery stores right now and you're bitching and complaining about how much it's costing to put food on the table, Think about people with less money than yourself, how hard it is for them. And, you know, there might be some government programs that you have, like I've heard of food stamps and things like that, which basically are very, very insulting to these people who are already down and out to no fault of their own. So, yeah, but you can blame your government for that. A government that's supposed to be there to support the population. They're not supporting anybody. They're supporting themselves, the rich. I mean, can you enter politics? Can any American enter politics that wants to? No. Because to get into the political game, to get in there and run, it costs a lot of money. A lot of money. It does in Canada too. But even more so in the United States, because you have all these conventions, you have all this, the way that people are selected to run for office and whatnot. It's, you know, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. The average person can't afford that. Barb says, oh, she's asking Gloria what. Lydia says, what does magnesium cream do? I'm not really sure, but it works. I think what it does is, I think it kind of works on the nerves, on the nerve endings. It might dull it. I don't know what exactly what it does. Should research that more. All I know is that the damn stuff works, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And Glory's telling where she got hers. I got mine off of Amazon, and it's just called, in fact, I put what it was in, because somebody else asked me this in the show notes on So Chatty this week, and so I listed it there. It's, well, I can probably show you, because it'll be in my history. Let's see here. This is it on Amazon.ca. They probably have it on Amazon.com. In fact, someone showed it to me today on Amazon.com. It's on sale for American $8.99. Looks like it's on sale here too. It's 25. Yeah, because I paid $19.99 for it. Of course, it's on sale. Maybe I should get another bottle. But this is what it is. This is what I bought.
It's made
and it's made in the USA. It's actually made in Texas. I mean, at least they did something right. But you put it on your legs at night. You rub it in well. It is not greasy, and it absorbs into your skin very readily, and it won't stain bed sheets or bedclothes or anything like that. And it's got a very light lavender scent, but it actually, I don't like the scent of lavender really, and I don't even notice it. And it's got some extra little ingredient here, which I have no idea what that is for. You don't need a heck of a lot of it. So, you know, the 5-ounce jar that they say here, it does last, I think, for a while. But I absolutely recommend it. I did not think this would have any effect, but I thought I'd give it a try. And it actually helps you to sleep, too. And I don't know how that works, but it does. I have not had to have any of my edibles since I started using this at all. And I was doing the edibles to help me sleep. Yeah, made in Texas. There you go. So, yeah, it's great stuff.
It's probably utter bomb.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, utter bomb. Yeah, but highly recommend it. It's been a godsend. Thank you, Gloria. I want to have your children.
Let me see the
What?
the streaming thing.
Oh. Okay. Layla says the first trillionaire cut those programs. Yeah. Yeah. What's his face?
Elon Musk.
Musk. Yeah. Denise says, stop making sense. You won't win. Yeah, I know. I mean, basically, yeah, common sense does not exist anymore. Layla says magnesium has calming properties. Okay. The fact that they're using technology to put people out of work, their homes, tells you what their administration thinks about its citizens. Yeah. Denise says dirty water, contaminated food. Yep. Oh yeah. Isn't that nice? We have right now. Now we have to be careful of anything that gets imported into our country from the United States because it might have a parasite and we'll shit ourselves to death. Yeah. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. And that's because Trump eliminated a lot of the inspectors for the food and everything like that. So yeah, they sneak in with it. Dubrovnik says, you know, Stephen, you're so right. Before Trump, my relatives and friends in Croatia were so jealous how well we got along with the USA. Now they are laughing how bad our relationship is with Trump. Sad. It is, because, you know, before him and everything, I mean, we had our ups and downs. But for the most part, we used to pride ourselves, both countries, that we were good neighbors with each other. We boasted that we had the longest undefended border in the world. Well, that's going to change. Yeah. And that's just sad. He's wrecked it all. He and his cronies, they have wrecked it all. So, who knows? Are we ever going to get back?
Well, it's not just a relationship with Canada, the relationship with other countries
With the
in the
world. Yeah. Yeah, right now, if you're an American, I don't really suggest that you travel too far away from the States unless you have to, because it used to be the Americans weren't particularly liked around the world, but now, even less. Of course, the ones that are megas, they obviously don't travel. Most Republicans have never left the United States. How could they? Because they're so ignorant about the world. There's no way they have traveled very far at all. So, you know, but that's because they've been told, you know, you don't need to go anywhere. Stay here in our own country. Our country is beautiful. It's perfect. You know, there's no better country in the world. Yes, there is. It's called Canada. So let's just finish up here. Thimblehook is sliding in late. Hello, everyone from Vegas. I got to tell my friends about that lotion. No hate for Canadians here. I love you all. And take care of your forest. Yeah, we'll need the forest. And, you know, if our forests get wiped out, well, it's a lot of the world's going to suffer from that, because a lot of our wood in that is exported around the world, including the United States, too. So anyways, yes, you heard me rant, but it wasn't really a rant. It is exactly how I feel. And I think I am accurately reflecting how many Canadians feel right now at this moment in time. So, yeah, it's something for those of you that aren't Canadian to really think about. And do your research. Don't believe the first thing that pops up on YouTube or on the internet when you hear things like, you know, that Canada is killing everybody with their smoke and stuff like that. It's killing us too with it. It hasn't been pleasant. Zilap. Other countries love us, especially after FIFA. And yes, we have traveled. I kiss the ground when I get home to America. Slop, you are now gone. I do not allow anti-Trump Trumpers on here. That was obviously a Trumper. She is gone. That is an example of a nut job. Okay? And I don't suffer idiots. Gloria says, I use magnesium for neuropathy of my legs and feet. Yep, it's good stuff. So thank you, Gloria. You recommended it. As I said, you are my saint for this. Okay, everybody, we're going to go. Let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we'll see you Monday for Monday morning coffee with me. And Tuesday for the Idiot Quilter. And Friday for our special on free motion quilting with Walter on So Chatty. So see you all.